He had spent 40 years reading treaties. He had never read one this carefully written. He had also never read one this late.
Appendix C, paragraph 47. A subclause so dense it took 3 passes, just to see the trap. Cross-reference Article 3, Section 18, and cultural goodwill maintenance becomes sovereignty over anything measurable. Earth coffee, music, movies, sold throughout our eastern frontier for 6 months. We triggered it ourselves. Emperor Zator. This is Vren Telar. We have ceded territory. Appendix C. We missed it.
Ceded territory? Explain, scholar.
The Earth Compact. Paragraph 47 grants them administrative rights wherever their products are sold, and their products are everywhere in the East.
How much have we lost?
I am still calculating. At minimum, several systems. The clause is watertight.
The Korthic Empire had just discovered what it meant to sign a treaty without reading the fine print. They had already surrendered. 6 months earlier, the Korthic Senate had seen nothing to fear in a routine cultural agreement. The Mutual Cultural Exchange and Goodwill Compact of 3079 was 412 pages. The Korthic ratified it in 18 minutes.
On behalf of Earth, we look forward to a rich exchange of culture and mutual goodwill.
Our Senate prides itself on efficiency. A routine agreement like this deserves no delay. 18 minutes, a new benchmark for the Empire.
Earth values continued goodwill above all else.
The treaty was sealed with a handshake and an exchange of diplomatic smiles.
A model of efficiency. The clerks will be amused we even bothered to schedule a session.
And so, without a full legal translation, the compact took effect. Earth's cultural exchange program began.
Earth looks forward to a long and prosperous relationship built on our continued goodwill.
Within weeks, Earth coffee appeared on Korthic market stalls. The cups bore a simple logo: Earth's Best. Earth movies lit up public holoscreens on border worlds. Die Hard 15 played to packed plazas. Earth music albums, human voices, human rhythms, filled Korthic shops. The teenagers couldn't get enough. Earth novels, translated into Korthic script, spread quietly through reading devices. Earth survey ships arrived in orbit, conducting cultural research. The Korthic governors welcomed them as guests. Earth officials opened passport offices, issuing travel documents to Korthic citizens. No one questioned the authority. Customs, tariffs began flowing to Earth Treasury, processed through the Compact's quiet clauses. The eastern frontier systems felt a subtle shift. Their economies now ran on Earth's invisible strings. Back on the Korthic homeworld, the Senate still had no idea anything had changed. The cultural exchange was a success. The trap was already sprung. The Korthic just hadn't read the note that said it was. Senator Thanek received the first reports from border governors 4 months after the signing.
Earth is administering our tariffs, issuing passports. On what authority?
In the Senate, his concerns were met with polite dismissal. The cultural exchange was a success.
They think this is just cultural exchange. They haven't seen the data. I need a legal scholar, the best we have. Find me Vren Telar immediately.
Vren Telar received the assignment with the quiet patience of a scholar who had spent a lifetime untangling knots.
A cultural exchange treaty, 412 pages. They want me to find a problem they cannot name. I will read every word. If there is something hidden, the text will reveal itself.
And so the investigation began, 6 months late and 2 systems already lost.
6 months? Why did no one read this treaty before it was signed?
Vren Telar began at the title page and read forward. 412 pages, each word studied.
Each appendix stands alone, yet cross-references run like hidden veins. This is not normal drafting.
He requested a full linguistic analysis from the archive's deep core processors.
The density of language is wrong. Boilerplate doesn't need this many nested clauses. Here, a phrase that defines goodwill by referencing a clause that references the same phrase, a loop.
Days dissolved into the deep study of clauses that seem to exist only to refer to other clauses.
This isn't a treaty. It's a legal maze designed to exhaust anyone who reads it. Earth's lawyers didn't draft a document. They built a trap and buried the trigger under semantic recursion.
The linguistic analysis finished. It flagged no errors, only patterns too consistent to be natural.
They wrote this to be unreadable. Everything about it is deliberate.
Vren focused on Appendix C, where the circular definitions spiraled most tightly.
Cultural goodwill refers to itself, then to subclause 7, then back to goodwill, a loop with no exit.
He cross-referenced every term against Earth's public legal database. No direct precedent existed.
Earth's contract law is labyrinthine, but this doesn't match their standard subversion patterns. This is something new.
7 days passed. Senator Thanek's office sent a polite but insistent inquiry. The first of many.
The Senate wants an answer. I don't have. The circular logic is smoke. What is it hiding?
He turned to ancient Kothic legal precedents. The Scorvian Compact of 2204 had used a recursive clause, but only to delay, not to grant.
Earth's loop is different. It doesn't delay, it activates, but I still can't see the trigger.
The Senate committee set a 3-week deadline for preliminary findings. The political clock now ticked alongside the legal one.
They buried the trigger so deep that even tracing the dependencies leads back to nothing. Unless the nothing is the trigger.
He expanded his search to Earth's historical treaties, every cultural exchange agreement they had ever signed.
Consistent pattern. Each one contains a maintenance clause, but the recursion here is new.
The Krex Accord of 2951 granted Earth mining rights through a cultural outreach provision.
They use cultural exchange as a legal Trojan horse. Resources, then territory. The structure repeats.
He began cross-referencing Appendix C with Article 3, Section 18, the definition of administrative sovereignty.
Could the recursive loop in Appendix C be designed to trigger Article 3? That would grant sovereignty.
The linguistic analysis found no direct syntactic link, only a potential interpretive connection.
A semantic link, then. It relies on context, on measurable events to close the loop.
The Senate's deadline was 3 days away, but Vren no longer cared. He was chasing the trigger.
If the clause activates when Earth products are sold, then I need the sales records from the frontier.
On Talaris, the last independent custom station went dark. All tax revenue now flowed directly to Earth Treasury. Protests erupted on 3 border worlds. Korthic citizens demanded to know who authorized Earth's financial control.
This is no longer a bureaucratic oversight. It's a systematic transfer of sovereignty. Where is Vrenteller? The Senate celebrates cultural exchange while Earth empties our treasury. I move that this Senate formally demand a public update from senior legal scholar Vrenteller within 48 hours.
The demand arrived at Vren's archive as a formal summons, with a countdown clock attached.
48 hours. They want a miracle of legal archaeology on a political schedule.
He opened the frontier sales records. The files were massive. Every transaction from every registered Earth product. Coffee cups, movie tickets, music downloads, each one a data point. Each system showed millions.
If measurable quantity is the trigger, then every world in the eastern frontier has triggered it. We are already lost.
He isolated Appendix C, paragraph 47, line 12, the densest subclause in the entire compact, then requested a forensic linguistic analysis of its activation dependencies. The analysis returned a single finding: semantic recursion loop, external variable required to resolve, variable type, measurable event.
Measurable event, sales volume. I have the data. But how does a sale become sovereignty?
He cross-referenced the subclause with Earth's commercial code. seeking a legal definition of cultural goodwill maintenance. Earth's code defined it as the provision of financial and administrative services to preserve cultural exchange benefits. No mention of territory.
The loop references itself, then sub-clause 7, then back. Article 3 must contain the missing link, but the connection is purely semantic.
The Senate summons updated. 41 hours remained.
I have the trigger, I have the data, but I lack the chain of logic that turns a coffee shop into an instrument of surrender.
He read the subclause again, word by word, each one now burned into his memory.
There is a definition of maintenance that applies only under specific conditions. I need to find the hidden dictionary inside Earth's contract law.
He found the hidden dictionary in Earth's contract law archives, a footnote to a footnote in a 200-year-old treaty. The definition, cultural goodwill maintenance, includes administrative oversight wherever cultural products are sold in measurable quantity.
Measurable quantity. The clause triggers administrative control just by selling coffee.
Cross-referencing with Article 3 revealed the final link. Administrative control meant sovereignty.
The loop is closed. Sales trigger maintenance. Maintenance triggers sovereignty. It is perfect legal architecture.
He pulled the sales records. Every frontier world showed millions of Earth product transactions. For 6 months, Earth coffee, movies, music had been flooding the East. The threshold was met within days.
The entire eastern frontier qualifies. Every single system where a human song played.
He looked at the sub-clause again. It had been there all along, waiting for someone to read it.
We surrendered 6 months ago. We just didn't know it.
He cross-referenced the trigger with Article 3, Section 18. Administrative control meant something more.
Sovereignty. Full administrative control over any territory where the clause is active. It isn't just tariffs, it's governance.
He mapped the sales data onto the frontier. 6 systems lit up, each a cultural gravity well.
Telaris, Valor, Hax, Orin, Kalith, Nerex. The entire eastern frontier. Every single one.
For 6 months, Earth had been administering these systems under the guise of cultural goodwill. The treaty made it permanent.
6-star systems, seated in exchange for coffee and movie tickets. There is no precedent in Korthic law for this.
He stared at the emergency communication console. The Emperor would need to hear this from him.
How do I explain that we lost 6 systems in an 18-minute vote?
The Senate summons had 8 hours left. He would have to stand before them first.
We have been conquered by a footnote.
He opened the emergency channel to the Emperor. The Imperial seal flared gold before Zator's image solidified.
Your Majesty, I have completed the analysis. The Earth Compact has ceded 6 frontier systems to their administrative control.
6 systems. On what legal basis?
Appendix C. Paragraph 47, cross-referenced with Article 3. The clause triggers sovereignty wherever Earth products are sold. Their products have been sold in measurable quantity throughout the East for 6 months.
I want the Senate convened immediately. Every senator must see your report.
Within the hour, the Senate chamber was filled with Korthic senators, summoned on emergency protocol.
Telaris, Valor, Hax, Orin, Kalith, Nerex, all 6 systems now fall under Earth's administrative sovereignty. The treaty's own words, once triggered, are irreversible.
This is a catastrophe. We must demand renegotiation immediately. Earth cannot be allowed to wield this clause without challenge.
Senator Thanek called for a vote. The motion passed unanimously. The Korthic Empire formally requested renegotiation of the compact with Earth. The message was transmitted to Earth. Now the Korthic could only wait for Dorothy Krieger's reply. Dorothy Krieger's reply came within the hour, not as a message, but as a holographic appearance in the Senate chamber.
The Korthic Empire requests renegotiation. Earth is always willing to discuss mutual goodwill. We will renegotiate any clause, provided you identify the specific Earth lawyer who drafted the original provision. That way, we ensure accountability.
She is too calm. This is another trap.
That seems fair. Every clause has an author. We will provide the name.
The Senate accepted the condition. Earth's request seemed like standard diplomatic courtesy. Vren Tellar watched Dorothy's hologram fade, her polite smile lingering longer than necessary.
A single lawyer. That should be simple to find. Unless they anticipated this.
The search began immediately. Korthik legal teams were ordered to trace the authorship of Appendix C. Earth's Foreign Service transmitted the treaty's drafting records, a standard gesture, they said, in the spirit of transparency. Vren Tellar assigned his best archivist teams to the drafting records. The search began clean, then unraveled. Appendix C had been drafted by a lawyer named K. Channing. But cross-referencing revealed the subclauses were written by someone else.
Trace the ownership chain. Who authored the activation subclause specifically?
The answer came back after an hour. Not a single author. 31 different Earth lawyers had worked on the treaty, each writing a separate appendix. Earth's metadata confirmed it. The lawyers had never communicated. Each wrote in isolation, contributing to a document that no single person understood.
Distributed authorship. No single mind planned the trap. The trap emerged from the methodology itself.
The Korthik legal team reached the same conclusion simultaneously. There was no one to hold accountable. Vren reported the finding to an emergency Senate committee hours later. The silence in the chamber was absolute.
Senators, we cannot identify a single responsible lawyer. The treaty was written by 31 separate authors, each blind to the other's work. The condition is impossible to satisfy, and Earth knew this all along. We fell into their deepest trap yet.
The Senate chamber erupted in disbelief, but the words were hollow. Without a named author, Earth's condition was a dead end.
Director Krieger, we cannot satisfy your condition. No single lawyer drafted the clause. The authorship is distributed.
I understand. Earth's Foreign Service anticipated this possibility. We are not unreasonable. We would be delighted to renegotiate the entire compact. A fresh start. Naturally, we would use our standard drafting methodology. 31 separate lawyers, each working in isolation.
She is offering us a new treaty that will contain another hidden clause by design. This is not diplomacy. It is systemized conquest.
The Senate watched the transmission in real time. Dorothy Krieger's hologram hung before them, her offer ringing in the silence.
She offers us renegotiation that guarantees another trap. The method is the weapon.
The Korthik senators looked at one another. The choice was no choice at all.
We either accept the loss of 6 systems, or we agree to another treaty that will cost us more. There is no renegotiation, only surrender.
The Senate debate raged, but the outcome was already written in the methodology.
We must accept the renegotiation. We have no choice but to try. Bring our best treaty lawyers. Every trap has a flaw.
No, Thanek. The flaw is intentional. Earth's method ensures any new treaty will contain a hidden clause by design. We would be walking into the same trap again.
The Emperor listened silently from his throne, then gave a quiet order to his intelligence corps.
Reach out to our allies. Learn Earth's history with cultural exchange compacts. I want to know if we are the first.
Within hours, the replies came. Earth had signed similar compacts with 14 governments. In every case, a cultural goodwill clause had triggered. The records showed Earth now administers 41 systems through those clauses. The Korthik were not the first, only the latest.
Your Majesty, we are the 14th. Earth has done this to 13 other governments. None have renegotiated. None have reversed the clause.
Emperor Zator stood before the viewport, staring at the 6 stars that were no longer his. A heavy silence filled the throne room.
Then we will be the 15th to accept the loss, or the first to find a way out. But I see no way out.
Emperor Zator pressed the imperial seal. The decision was final.
We will not renegotiate. Inform Earth the treaty stands. We will learn from this humiliation.
The order reached Vren Tellar in the archive. He sat silently for a long moment, then opened a channel to Earth.
Director Krieger, the Korthic Empire accepts the terms of the compact. There will be no further challenge.
We regret the circumstances, but we respect your government's decision. Earth will continue to honor the mutual goodwill we have built.
On the first of the seeded worlds, the handover ceremony was quiet. An Earth flag was raised beside the Korthic emblem. Earth officials began processing tariffs, issuing documents and administrating the systems as they had for 14 other governments before.
It took them 3 years to write it, 18 minutes to ratify, and 6 months to own us.
The Korthic Empire had been conquered not by warships, but by a footnote, and the galaxy barely noticed. Dorothy Krieger added the Korthic file to her drawer of cultural exchange reports. It was the 14th. On Earth, the Foreign Service held a quiet reception. Dorothy Krieger shook hands, accepted congratulations, but her smile never reached her eyes. She had done this 14 times. The satisfaction was in the craft, not the celebration. A week later, a small retirement party gathered in her office. A plaque on the wall read, 41 Systems.
Elena, Earth has been drafting these treaties this way for 200 years. I inherited the methodology from my predecessor. We now administer 41 systems through cultural goodwill maintenance. The Korthic are the 14th government to discover the trap too late. The key is never to hold one lawyer accountable. Each writes in isolation, building a document no single mind comprehends. It is vulnerability-free conquest.
Elena Cortez listened in silence, her fingers hovering over a stylus and a blank treaty template.
41 systems. Entire civilizations handed over their sovereignty in exchange for coffee and music, and no one stopped us.
Be patient, be polite, and always read the fine print.
Elena nodded. She had been training for this her whole career. The next cultural exchange compact was already on her desk. Dorothy Krieger signed her final retirement document with a fountain pen, then walked out of the Foreign Service headquarters for the last time.
The 6 new systems are already integrated. Tariffs, passports, taxes, everything runs through Earth now.
An Earth official stamped a document. System 42, administrative handover complete. The galaxy map in the command center updated. 42 Earth-controlled systems now glowed with a quiet gold.
We've added 6 systems without firing a single shot. Dorothy's playbook still works perfectly.
The Foreign Service lawyers quietly celebrated the Korthic annexation with the same muted satisfaction they'd had for the last 13.
Dorothy taught me that conquest doesn't require armies, just patience, footnotes, and a polite smile.
She opened her first negotiation file. A new alien government, the Valari Combine, had requested a cultural exchange.
They don't know we've done this 42 times. They'll ratify it in 20 minutes and thank us for the coffee.
She reached for her stylus and began to draft the first appendix. Elena Cortez sat across from the Valari delegate, her expression a mirror of Dorothy's calm.
Earth values your continued goodwill. We look forward to a rich cultural exchange.
The Valari delegate smiled, unaware that they were now the 15th government to sit in that chair. On Talaris, a Korthic classroom displayed a holographic lesson. Hello, my name is in Earth English. The Korthic children repeated the words, their accents rough. Their parents now needed Earth language for work. The Earth diplomatic yacht parked beside the Korthic archive station, a permanent feature now. The holographic treaty still scrolled between them, its red clauses a quiet monument to the galaxy's most patient conquest. Elena Cortez closed the negotiation with a handshake, her stylus already moving to the next appendix. The galaxy's most dangerous people require no weapons. They write appendices, and they read even more carefully. In the Korthic archive, Vren Tellar opened a blank tablet. He began to write the only weapon he had left, the truth.
Someone must know. The clause, the trap, the 31 lawyers. Perhaps the 15th will read before signing.
He titled it the 14th of December Eption. a meticulous recounting, every footnote exposed. He filed it with the legal archives, then withdrew from public service. The robotic arm placed it on shelf 47, row 12, section C. The tablet's light faded. Dust settled. No one noticed. He had spent 40 years reading treaties. Now he had written one that would never be read. The galaxy's most dangerous people are not those who carry weapons. They are the ones who write with infinite patience and read with even more. Somewhere, a stylus hovered over a new appendix. The cycle would continue. The warning was filed. The archives grew. And somewhere between the lines, Earth kept writing. The Earth yacht remained parked beside the Korthic Archive station, its engines a quiet gold against the violet starfield. Between them, the holographic treaty scrolled, a permanent monument to a conquest no one saw. Paragraph 47 still pulsed red, a footnote that had swallowed 6-star systems without a shot. Inside the archive, Vren Tellar's memoir rested on shelf 47, row 12, in the dark. No light touched it. No one called for it. The dust gathered slowly. On a Korthic classroom world, children recited an Earth poem, their accents smoothing with each verse. Elena Cortez drafted Appendix D, her stylus moving with the patience of conquest. 42 systems now orbited Earth's quiet empire. The galaxy never noticed. The galaxy's most dangerous people have no need for weapons. They have appendices.